Hook, 0-100 to 0-30, Ray Dalio grew up middle class in Long Island. He started Bridgewater Associates out of a 2-bedroom apartment. By 2023, it was managing $160 billion. But the bigger story isn't the money. It's the operating system he built, a set of principles so rigorous that he wrote a 600-page book about them. Here's what actually matters. Intro. 0:30 to 1 o'clock. Most successful people can tell you what they did. Very few can explain why it worked with enough clarity to replicate it. Dalio is the exception. He spent decades codifying his decision-making into principles, testable, transferable rules for navigating reality. These aren't motivational quotes. They're operating instructions. Let's break down the 5 that drive everything. Segment 1. Embrace reality and deal with it. 1 o'clock to 2:30. Dalio's first and most fundamental principle. Pain plus reflection equals progress. Most people avoid painful truths. They rationalize underperformance. They soften feedback. They delay conversations that need to happen. Dalio built a culture and a mindset that does the opposite. At Bridgewater, every meeting is recorded. Every decision is logged. Mistakes aren't hidden, they're examined, diagnosed, and systematized so they can't happen the same way twice. The personal equivalent. You need a mechanism for honest self-assessment. Not brutal self-criticism. Not ego protection. Clear-eyed analysis of what actually happened versus what you expected. Most people know something went wrong. They don't spend the time to understand why at the root level. Dalio's insight is that this reflection is where the real learning lives. Pain without reflection is just suffering. Pain with reflection is the fastest path to competence. Pause. Segment 2. Radical open-mindedness. The hardest skill to develop. 2:30 to 4 o'clock. Dalio identifies ego as the primary enemy of good thinking. Your brain is wired to defend your existing beliefs. The more confident you are, the harder it fights. This is useful for survival. It's disastrous for decision-making. Radical open-mindedness isn't weakness. It's a discipline. It means being genuinely curious about the possibility that you're wrong. Seeking out the strongest version of arguments that contradict your own. Weighting evidence over emotion. Dalio trains himself, and trained his team, to ask, "How do I know I'm right?" not rhetorically. As a real question with a real evidence threshold required before acting. The practical application. When you find yourself getting defensive about an idea, that's the signal to slow down. Ask who the most credible person disagreeing with you is, and actually engage with their argument. The ability to update your views in real time based on evidence is worth more than almost any technical skill. Pause. Segment 3. Radical transparency. The management principle that breaks everything you think you know. 4 o'clock to 5:30. At Bridgewater, junior analysts can challenge senior partners publicly. Meetings are recorded and any employee can request the transcript. Performance reviews are open and shared. This sounds chaotic. It produces the opposite. Radical transparency eliminates the political shadow games that destroy most organizations. When information is hoarded, power concentrates in the people who have it. When information is open, the best argument wins, regardless of rank. The downside? It's uncomfortable. Most people aren't used to having their reasoning examined in public. Bridgewater has a notoriously high attrition rate in the first year because the adjustment is genuinely difficult. But the upside? Decisions improve dramatically when they're made in the open. Bad ideas get killed faster. Good ideas surface regardless of who has them. Trust compounds because nothing is hidden. You don't need to implement this at full Dalio intensity. But the principle applies. The more transparent you are with your team, your partners, and yourself, the faster you improve. Pause. Segment 4. Systemize everything. Turn your decisions into rules. 5:30 to 7 o'clock. Dalio's most tactical principle. If a decision recurs, turn it into a rule. Every time Bridgewater identifies a principle that produced a good outcome, they codify it. If the same situation arises again, the rule is applied, not a fresh deliberation. This eliminates emotional decision-making, inconsistency, and cognitive load on high-stakes choices. Personal version. Think about your most important recurring decisions. What you invest in. How you evaluate new opportunities. How you respond to conflict. Who you hire. If you're making those decisions fresh each time, you're introducing unnecessary variance. Your answers will change based on your mood, your recent experiences, your energy level. That's not a decision-making system. It's a coin flip with extra steps. Write down your criteria. When X happens, you do Y. Test it against past decisions. Refine it. Over time, your principles become the best version of you, available even when you're tired, stressed, or under pressure. Pause. Segment 5. The two-loop system. Achieve goals through radical evolution. 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Dalio describes a two-loop feedback cycle that governs all improvement. Loop 1. Set a goal, take action, observe the results, diagnose the gap, design a fix, execute. Loop 2. Examine your diagnosis process itself. Are you identifying the real root cause or just the surface symptom? Are you designing fixes that address the system or just the last failure? Most people run Loop 1 unconsciously and never run Loop 2 at all. This is why the same mistakes repeat in different forms. The best leaders, investors, and operators run both loops simultaneously. They're not just improving outcomes, they're improving how they improve. The meta skill of self-correction becomes itself a compounding advantage. Dalio's entire framework is built on this. Reality is learnable, mistakes are data, and the person who processes both most accurately wins. *CTA, 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Ray Dalio didn't build Bridgewater on intelligence. He built it on principles, explicit, tested, transferable rules for thinking clearly under pressure. You can borrow every one of them. If this gave you a new lens, subscribe. The next video breaks down Steve Jobs' obsession with simplicity, and the decision-making framework that turned Apple from near bankruptcy to the most valuable company on earth.